horrible crashes in the market, and somehow now we have to fix it. So we all know, I think we can confidently say that the fuel surcharge report is not the issue here, but in fact, the people that are supplying the oil and creating the vacuum that we're working with. So what's happened is they've recalculated it, and they feel as if there's a 0.005% chance that something could be off. So now they've whittled it down, they've recalculated it, and they've decided that their method of finding this is going to allow for a more granular version of this. And that's why you didn't see the fuel surcharge change at all this week, because they've recalculated it. They discovered that it should have gone up about 5 cents, which would have been historically normal for what we've seen in the past, those increments as they go up. And this is probably more of a way to kind of help stop the inflationary issue that we're having in the transportation industry. So, you can call an apple an orange, a blender a tomato, you can do whatever you want, but the fact of the matter is the fuel is going to cost what the fuel costs. And what's going to eventually happen is these carriers that are hauling for us are going to have to park their trucks. They're not going to be able to afford to run. And I've already heard rumors of guys parking their trucks and going to sign on with Swift or some of these bigger companies that have better cost controls. So when you're a little company, you're only really able to do what you can at the pump. These other guys, they've been buying fuel in massive quantities and they get a better deal. So they'll pull up to, say, a Love's or a
TA.
Yeah, I was going blank for a second.
I got you.
TA, and they've got a special contract with these providers, right? And so they've actually bought with futures in mind and guaranteeing that they're going to buy X amount of gallons a year. So they get quite a break. The airline industry does the exact same thing. Southwest Airlines, when they were able to offer those really low rates before there was a lot of competition, that's how they did it. And they locked in their fuel so that it was so low, it allowed them to get underneath American, Delta, United, and really be that low-cost provider because they didn't have to pay these prices. And when that stopped, then it kind of leveled the playing field a little bit. But now you're going to start seeing these smaller trucking companies just parking trucks. It's not that they want to, it's just, it doesn't make sense to keep running anymore. We talked about kind of how it works, when you've got a net 30 and say, Matt books a load with somebody and they do the job. They've got 30 days to send the invoice in. They send it to him. He's got 30 days to pay it. He turns around and invoices to his customer, right? They've got 30 days to pay. Well, that 30 days to pay the carrier back is a 30-day window where they've had to pay twice as much for the fuel today as they did last year this time. And so effectively what's happening is they're reaching into their savings and they're never going to see that back unless the fuel goes way down again. So what will likely happen here is, and it probably happened towards the tail end of the third quarter into the fourth quarter, if I had to guess, you're going to start seeing these companies just closing doors. Forget it. They're done. And what will likely then happen is the pricing will go through the roof. Much like it did after COVID started, the prices went down and then they went way up. They stayed up for about 18 months. And this is going to be an uncontrollable change that is occurring because if you don't have things to haul the trucks, or I'm sorry, if you don't have trucks to haul the loads, you don't have a way of moving your product. You go out of business too. So you're going to pay whatever you can to move this stuff, right? And it's just simple economics, man. I mean, you can't afford to run, you can't afford to operate as a company. You've got to either find a way to bring in more money or shut your doors. Businesses only run because you have no sale, or they close because they don't have sales. They have no capacity to sell anything or they run out of money.